Welcome back to another episode of the Backyard Bullies podcast. I'm your host, Kim, here with my boy Pete as usual, and today we got Killer Keelan on, man. What's up, Keelan? How you been?
Oh man, I've been good, bro. We're glad to be back on the podcast. Shout out to y'all, man.
Yes, sir. Glad to have you back. But man, we're gonna go ahead and get right into this. As we all know, the Dallas Mavericks just got the number one overall pick. More than likely, they are gonna select Cooper Flag. You know what I mean? So, what are y'all thoughts on that? Just with the whole Dallas thing, getting rid of Luca, and now all of a sudden seems like they got the number one overall pick. Like, is that that seems a little suspicious, or what are your thoughts?
So I've been seeing a lot that it was rigged,
Hmm.
that it was send Luca to the biggest franchise in the league, and then get the first overall pick. But man, that's not even a good trade if I'm Dallas. Like I'm not sending Luca to get Cooper Flag, who's potentially gonna be a scrub. Like
Hmm.
we saw Christian Laettner come into the league and become a scrub. So
Yeah, that's true. Like I'm right there with you. Like, who's to say that Cooper Flag is gonna be better than Luca? And you already know what Luca is. I mean, I don't know if it was rigged or not, but it still wouldn't be a smart move for Dallas. Keelan, what do you think?
I think it's like I see why people say it's rigged because they had a 1.8% chance. Now I know that sort of thing happens too, but a lot of people do speculate that they gave number one pick because Dallas was on a riot. You know what I mean? Like,
So you're saying maybe they would like to kind of ease the tension between the fans and Nico. They was like, hey, they send in death threats. We gotta help Nico out here. Go ahead
yeah,
and go
yeah,
go ahead and send them that pick.
that's exactly why I think they were protesting and everything for
Mm,
Lucas. So.
yeah, they were. It was getting pretty
Mhm.
hectic.
Yeah.
But these NBA playoffs, they haven't really been going according to plan with Boston down and Cleveland down. Uh, with Boston and New York, like I I honestly thought Boston was gonna go back to New York and win both the games, and then from there go on and win the series. But with Jason Tatum tearing his Achilles now, they're pretty much cooked. Do they keep this same team together, or what do y'all think for next year?
I mean, there hasn't been a back-to-back champion in like 6 or 7 since the Warriors did it, I believe.
Hmm.
Um, so I'd say keep the same team running back. They won a chip last year. They had a couple bad games the first 2 games of this series for the Knicks with the Knicks, and the Knicks came back, down whatever, and came back and won. But I say keep the same team and running back. They still have a great team, championship bloodlines, and then the injury derailed it. But I'm not gonna act like the injury is the reason they're gonna lose the series.
Hmm.
They were down in the game by like 6 or 7 points with only a minute or two left when Jason Tatum went down anyway. So
True, true, true. Keelan?
Um, I do want them to run it back, but I don't know how long Tatum's gonna be out with that Achilles injury. Last time KD had that injury, he was out for a whole season. So if they do try to run it back, hopefully they keep it for like 2 years. I know everybody getting expensive, so
Yeah, that's a good point. They have to pay everybody, and like you said with Tatum, it's not like next year they're going to be competing. It's probably going to be the year after
that's
that. And
true.
then they got old man
yeah,
Horford, who's 38, so he's going to be potentially 40.
yeah,
When JT's finally back to 100%. Because it's one thing to come back from the injury, but to come back as your 100% self, that probably takes anywhere from a year to a year and 6 months. And like you said, they had to pay everybody. Do you think they should try to keep the duo of Tatum and Brown together no matter what, or and kind of just get rotational pieces around them, like maybe Porzingis is gone and now they get another big in or something, or should they maybe think about splitting them up in the future, if it comes down to it?
No, I think they should keep them together. Like they both
Hmm.
around the same age, both great players. They proved they can win together.
Hmm.
Keep
Hmm.
them.
Pete?
Yeah, I definitely think they should keep that duo together. Like Keelan said, they're both the same age, so they could play out their careers together. But if they're getting too expensive, if they're getting too expensive, or you know, one of them's getting unhappy, especially like Jalen Brown next season when he's having to carry the whole weight of the team on his shoulders.
Mm.
If he's if they're getting disgruntled, then if they have to break up one, I say keep Tatum, cut Brown.
Yeah, I know Brown. He kind of always has had like a gripe. Well, I'm not gonna say a gripe, but there's always been some kind of underlining between him and the Boston Celtics organization. With him, he doesn't really get the respect he deserves. He wasn't on the USA team. Tatum is the one who makes all NBA, first team all the time. Um, Brown is the one who won Finals MVP and Conference Finals MVP, and yet he wasn't on Team USA. So do you think maybe Brown might be feeling like, I need to maybe not get my own team, but I'm not getting the love and respect that I need or that I should be getting in Boston?
Kind of like the Kyrie effect, where
Hmm.
Kyrie was like, "Oh, I need to get my own team away from Braun
Hmm.
because I'm not getting the credit I deserve." I mean, that could be a possibility. Everybody has their own egos. He's
Hmm.
paid well,
Yeah, he is.
so it's not like they're like, "Okay, you're not as good as Jason Tatum." He's paid well, so I mean, it's kind of hard to say that he's gonna want out, but
Hmm.
that could be a good reason. And then next season, he'll have his own team next season.
He could potentially be paid more though if he would have made maybe like, I mean, he probably wasn't going to make All NBA first team, but like if you're a Team USA guy and then maybe you have like some
Yeah,
second teams under your belt or something, that's going to be for a bigger contract. Like Tatum is eligible for a bigger contract than Brown because he has all those first teams.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Brown's probably looking at him like, you got all those first teams and you getting all this money, but I'm Finals MVP, but
I'm cooking.
yeah. And I know
No,
Brown did
for
say
real.
like, well, this was years ago, but he said like, there were some racist remarks, from Boston and stuff, said towards him. So yeah, but that's another issue, within itself. But anywhere you go, racism's everywhere. So if I'm him, just stick together, try to win the chip. Keelan, what you think? Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah,
said stay
same. Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, say together. Yeah.
Now we got to bring it over to the Cavs, man. Now Pete did say that he thinks the Cavs are just a regular season team. He said that he really doesn't see them maybe going to the finals because they really have the same personnel they've always had. Maybe now they have DeAndre Hunter in, who's been doing pretty well for them. But are the Cavs a regular season team, Keelan, or what's up with the Cavs? Like why are they selling so bad? What's going on? I know Donovan Mitchell got injured. What's going on with the
Yeah.
Cavs?
I mean, it also because like Darius Garland was out like
Hmm.
the first two games, I think. So I know he was like struggling to like to get back, wasn't really fully himself.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I mean, I feel like the team probably would have done better if it wasn't for the injuries, but yeah, they looking like they're just a regular season team at this point. I was real high on the Cavs, like you know.
Yeah, me too. Now, I know, yeah, like you said, Garland was out for games one and two, and Mobley was out for game two. I
Mhm.
was real high on the Cavs as well, but the only thing is, I never had them beating Boston. I thought maybe they could beat New York, but the thing is, their backcourt is so small. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
With Garland and Mitchell, it's like Tatum and Brown can do the same thing Garland and Mitchell can do, and yet, but they're 7 inches taller than those guys. So, Garland and Mitchell can't really guard anybody when it comes to that. Pete, what do you got? Any thoughts on the Cavs? I know you weren't really ever that high on them.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't too high on them just because they've had the same core the last 2 3 years, and I know Mobley got better and that they had the injuries. I definitely thought without the injuries they would have beat the Pacers. It would have been a whole different series.
Hmm.
Um, Unfortunately, the injuries did happen. They did just lose to the Pacers tonight. It's over, but there's not too much really that they can do to change that roster. If they want to feel like win the chip, they're gonna have to get a new roster. There's really nothing they could do.
Yeah. I think they could probably run it back, give it another, because like you said, Mobley's still getting better. He's developing. Garland is still relatively young. Mitchell is who he is. He got injured. They got Ty Jerome. They got some other good pieces. They brought in DeAndre Hunter. He wasn't even there a full year. So I think if they run it back, they'll be. I'm not gonna say they'll have a better season than this year because they won all these games in the regular season this year. They were number one, but they could actually because Boston is now injury. Now
Gonna be
that
down.
down,
Yeah.
now that Tatum's
Yeah.
out, so they could potentially capture that number one seed again and try to go for it again. But I'm never gonna be that high on them because, like I said, they're just too small. When it comes to guarding people, like defensive wise. So I'll never really, go for them that much. We got Pete's team Thunder Nuggets. Pete, I know, the Nuggets they've been on y'all, and I think a lot of people thought that the Thunder were going to come in and just make quick work of the Nuggets. I know you said your game plan for guarding Jokic is kind of let Jokic do what he does and let the others beat y'all. Do you still agree with that game plan?
I definitely still agree with that game plan. Now I will say last game that was not the case.
Mm-hmm.
They actually guarded Jokic pretty well, by throwing multiple bodies at him at once and kind of slowing him down, not taking away his passing lanes, but rotating over there fast enough to where it wasn't killing them, and it was
Hmm.
still a close game. So I would definitely say the game plan should be let Jokic drop 40 if he has to, make the other guys beat us.
Hmm. Keelan, who do you have coming out of the series? It's tied 2-2 right now.
I mean, I still got OKC.
Hmm.
Just because they got a deeper team, and Jokic, if you make Jokic a scorer, you got a better chance of beating them
Hmm.
because he like to weaponize his team. You know.
And that's crazy to say because he's so great at passing that it's like, yeah, let him score, but he's so efficient at being a scorer as well. So, I mean, it's time to start talking about is Jokic maybe top 4 or 5 big man all time, because he literally can do everything except, he just doesn't have any athleticism. But he's
Yeah.
clearly making the case that you don't really need that much.
Who who would we take out though as far as top five big men? Because Shaq, Dream, Kareem, they're not going
Yeah,
anywhere.
yeah.
Will
Hmm.
Chamberlain, he kind of can't go anywhere.
Anyway, what about Bill Russell?
Bill Russell, man, Bill Russell got 11 though.
Uh-huh. But man, that was such a long time
That
ago,
was
bro.
that was
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
yeah, that was 60 years ago, but
Uh-huh.
still,
Now, if it's just big man, is that like centers? I mean, we got Moses Malone, David Robinson. I would say he's over David Robinson just because he has all those MVPs. Uh,
I feel like we're talking about centers
yeah,
because if we're talking
centers.
about power forwards, then you got to add Giannis and Tim Duncan and all
Hmm.
those guys who are have a chance to be better than him.
But then just off of those guys, I think. I mean, I do like Bill. He has 11 rings, but it was way back in 1855 when it was only 6 teams in the NBA, and he wasn't really averaging crazy numbers. He had all like 6 Hall of Famers on his team. I think I might give the edge to Jokic over Bill. But that's no knock on Bill. He did what he did for his era. He obviously took advantage of the time period he was in. But I think I got to go with Yoke.
I do want to stop and say one thing real quick. You said the Nuggets been on us. I had the Thunder in six. You got to lose 2 games to win in six.
Okay, my bad, man. My bad.
just what
Let's
I'm
just see
saying.
how tonight go. So if they
We win.
win tonight, what's going down? If the Nuggets win
If they
tonight,
win tonight, if the Nuggets win tonight, oh, Thunder in seven.
oh, okay.
I mean,
Hmm.
updated, stats require
Yeah,
updated takes.
that's true.
But
That's true.
That's a good point.
yeah,
Yeah, I think. Yeah, the Thunder, man. I think, like I said, they should win this series. They're honestly the Nuggets are giving them more trouble than I expected. I mean, Jokic is just that great of a player. I think it's probably going to come down to my projection would be in the finals. I have the Thunder going all the way, and then the Knicks would go all the way. Who do you have somebody different coming out of that, or
I
like
mean,
to the
I'm bringing
finals?
the Thunder,
Yeah,
and
well, we know
then
you the
I
Thunder.
had I
Yeah.
had whoever came out of that Celtics Knicks series,
Hmm.
and it just so
Uh,
happened to be the Knicks. I really was saying the Celtics,
Hmm.
but it just so happened to be the Knicks that came out.
I mean,
So,
you as a Thunder fan, you probably would rather play the Knicks, honestly.
oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah.
Keelan, who do
Now if we
you?
go to the chip and they beat us, I'm gonna be hurt.
Hey, they have like I said, they have they have guys who've been there where they have OG, he won a chip. Cat's been in the league for a minute, they got some vets in a way, y'all are so young that like this is gonna be a lot of these guys' first time around. Alex Caruso won the chip though as well though, so we can't sleep
That's
on
true.
that. But I mean Chet, this is only his, second, third year. I know he was injured the first year. He's gonna have to play like he's a 7th year player right now, in my opinion, if they want to win the chip because he got to guard Jokic, got to guard Randall, got to guard Rudy's going to be down there. Then he's going to have to go on and
Yeah.
play Cat. So he's going to have
Yeah.
some guys you got to go against. Keelan,
Yeah.
who do you have going to the finals?
Well, I had the Thunder going to the finals, regardless.
Hmm.
Now, I did have the Celtics, but I'm gonna have to go with the Knicks too,
Hmm.
since they beat the Celtics. So I'm gonna have to go with the Knicks too. Like it's obvious now. Like,
Yeah, yeah. You
and
think?
then I think the Cavs lost today too. I think so,
Yeah,
or
they did.
whenever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's over
So
now. The Pacers won.
Hmm.
Now we
yeah.
can't
So
sleep on the
Yeah, I say,
Pacers.
do we have the Pacers?
yeah.
What do we have that series going to? Cavs and Pacers.
We can't. I feel like we're disrespecting the
I want to
Pacers.
say
We didn't
gentlemen
even
Right.
sweep.
mention them.
Yeah.
We didn't even
That's true.
mention
Hey,
them.
that's true.
Well, we
That's
didn't
true.
mention
That's true.
Minnesota either, though. But
Yeah,
That's
we did.
true.
Nah, we
And Ant
didn't.
Man is a bad. You
Mama
know what?
Jamma. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to say the Pacers, man. I'm gonna give it 6 games. That's if the Knicks handle their business. Now the Knicks, they could be kind of wishy-washy, but if they handle their business, they guard up. They should be able to beat them in 6. But the Pacers always find a way to surprise me, and I wouldn't be shocked if for some reason it goes to 7 or something. I wouldn't be shocked if the Pacers win, bro.
If the, if the Knicks
I
if
wouldn't
the
be.
if the Knicks handle their business, I think they could potentially get a gentleman sweep going.
Mhm.
If they don't handle their
The
business,
business.
they're gonna
Who's
lose.
that?
There's no in between
Yeah.
with
Oh,
the
so it's
Knicks.
no. Yeah. It's either left or right. Either they fried
Yeah.
or they going. They sweeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for the Thunder's sake, we praying that they don't handle their business. Y'all get the
I'm
Pacers
praying they
in
go
the
to
finals.
7.
Yeah.
If we get the Pacers or the Knicks, and they went 7.
Yeah.
I mean, Tibbs
But if
play the
y'all
boys 48 minutes a night.
But if y'all get the Pacers, bro, and y'all lose, I mean,
Bro,
it
if
doesn't
we
get any
the
easier
Pacers,
than that.
if we get the Pacers and we lose,
Pacers
I'll
win the
never hear.
chip.
If
Oh,
we
that's
get the Pacers
crazy.
and we
Oh,
lose,
that's
I'll never
crazy.
hear the end of it.
Pacers
Bro, still
going.
You
talking to
ain't
me
hearing the
about.
end of it from me. I'll tell you
I
that.
know it. You still talking to me about
Yeah.
the Donovan Mitchell and
So-
Rudy
so-
Gobert getting us up out of there.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
man.
that was pretty tragic, but they lost to rookie Donovan Mitchell, and
Uh,
then they lost to Damian Lillard. I mean, y'all have Paul George, Melo, Russ. No
Yeah,
excuses. No excuses.
There's no excuses for it.
Now, if the
Yeah.
Pacers were to go on and win the chip, I mean, they got to put Reggie Miller in 2K first of all. Second of all, I mean, I'd walk to work barefoot, bro, if that happened on some
I
Paul
feel
Pierce.
like if the Pacers win the chip, Tyrese Halliburton
Yeah.
can no longer be the most overrated
Nah,
player.
I mean, definitely
Sure,
not. Definitely
nah,
not.
nah.
Yeah. No.
I
I
mean,
mean, he would
yeah.
go into that pantheon of great point guards immediately. I mean, he's already his assist turnover ratio is great. He already has all these, assist records for Indiana, and then he has a chip, and he'd probably win Finals MVP. I mean,
he might go
He
down
might-
as top 2 greatest Pacers of all time.
I mean, he'd be number one.
Yeah,
I'm about
Paul
to say, yeah, he
George
got
out
it.
there.
Yeah,
He gotta be number one.
yeah, he'd be
The
number
only
one.
player I was
He the one
thinking
that
is
gave him
Reggie
the deal.
Mill.
Yeah, I mean Reggie Mill, Paul George are really his only two.
But like,
And I know he got some older guys, but as far as
you
in
say
the
he would be the
current,
greatest.
he would.
'Cause
I
he gave
mean,
him okay, because he gave him a chip.
mm,
But does that mean Kawhi is the greatest Raptor player ever because he gave them a chip?
yeah,
Even though he only played for 1 season?
he is, bro. This isn't like the Wade and Braun situation where Braun is the greatest player to ever play for the Heat, but D Wade is the greatest Miami Heat player. Like y'all follow me? Y'all follow me?
Yeah, I'm following. I'm following.
Kawhi literally is the greatest Raptor player, the greatest person to touch a basketball to put a Raptor jersey on, and he's the greatest Raptor ever because he's the only one that won him a chip. It's not like DeMar got 3 rings and then Kawhi came and Kawhi is a much better player than him. DeMar don't got nothing. Bosh doesn't have any rings. VC doesn't have any rings. You know what I mean? Kyle Lowry didn't have a ring prior to Kawhi coming, so it's not like he's going up against this stiff competition. Vince Carter doesn't have any MVPs as a Raptor. Bosh doesn't have any MVPs as a Raptor. T Mac, was there briefly. So I would say he's got to be the greatest and the best.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
Yeah, that's just my opinion.
That's-
But I'm a
that's
little
solid
biased.
argument. I
Yeah.
can't even really argue that. Like, you
Mhm.
got it.
Yeah.
But where were we though? We was on the Pacers. Yeah, I think now if it came down to Knicks and Thunder, I mean Pete's biased, so I'm not gonna ask him. But Keelan, who do you have out of the Knicks and Thunder?
I got the Thunder.
Thunder.
Come
Yeah,
on, Keelan.
I hate to admit it, I got the Thunder, man.
Yeah, I think the Thunder. I wouldn't mind seeing the Knicks win, but I think the Thunder should win.
Yeah.
But the Thunder are kind of in the same spot as the Knicks. Like if they don't handle their business, they could lose anybody. They're young. They got some goofy characters on that team.
Yeah. And the Thunder, bro, like, they lost the first game. I understand. The second game, they won by 43. So, like, where is this tenacity that you had in game 2 for the rest of
Look
the
at the season, yeah. Like what
That's the
happened in
next
game
game.
2? I would love to look at like the analytics in the box score of game 2 to what happened to where y'all won by
In
40.
game 2, in the first quarter, we were already up by 24 points,
Mm.
which is
Ridiculous.
crazy.
Yeah.
But-
ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, so I wonder, yeah, like you said, well, that's what you get with young guys though. They wishy-washy, man. They're wishy-washy. And they do struggle to create offense when SJ is gone. I know, like not gone, but he's out the game.
Yeah,
And I think J Dub, he's gonna have to, like I said, those guys are gonna have to play like they're 7, 8 year, 9 year, 10 year players
vets.
already. They're gonna
Yeah,
have to, you know, they're gonna have to be thinking,
be poised, take care of your
yeah,
business.
yeah. And it's unfortunate because they are young, so it's kind of like you gotta grow up fast, bro. We here, we in the
Yeah,
moment now. This is it. You may never get a chance again. I mean, we all think the Thunder will go on for years, at least 5 years or so, being one of the better teams in the NBA. But who's to say? Who's to say J Dub's like, I want out, or Chet gets,
yeah,
injured, or anybody gets injured, God forbid. But it's no telling, basketball. We thought the Celtics were for sure thing. They go down. Tatum then tears his Achilles. We don't even
yeah.
know what the future is like for the Celtics now, and that was just not even 48 hours ago. You know what I mean? 48 hours ago, we probably say Celtics got a chance to three-peat. Now we don't even know if they're gonna ever be back. Like,
Yeah.
it was crazy to think. Minnesota. Does Minnesota have a chance in hell at getting to the chip? It's kind of like the Pacers.
I mean,
Just,
I feel like Minnesota has a chance.
mhm.
It's just I like the depth of the Thunder team over that Minnesota team
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
no doubt.
But
Yeah,
they're making quick work of the Warriors,
hmm
it looks like.
yeah,
So
3-1.
they'll be
Yeah.
more rested than the Thunder.
That's true. Keelan, you think the Minnesota has a chance of maybe getting to the finals?
Hey man, I think so. Just because Ant seemed like he always up for the challenge. He
Hmm.
be the big dog, all the big dogs. It seemed like
Yeah, that's true. Y-
so. That's why I say that.
Who do we think is the best player left in these finals? I mean, in these playoffs? Probably
Uh,
SGA or
yeah,
Jokic is still there. It's probably go out
Jokic
of the Thunder and yeah,
is it's out of the two
yeah,
MVP
yeah. I would
candidates.
say Jokic is
yeah,
probably the best.
I'd probably
yeah,
Then
say
the next
it's
best
gotta go
players,
Jokic and SGA.
SGA, yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. Now I know me and Pete did this one a couple podcasts ago when there was, the playoffs had just started. But let's say we were to add a legend to these teams that are currently still playing. Who do we think would
Ooh,
benefit the most?
I'm gonna have to go with
well,
Now is this
like,
now can
is this
KD count
legend still
technically?
playing? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
that's
want to ask. That's
yeah.
what I was going to ask.
well, what who does KD count for though? Because he won 2 rings with the Warriors,
Oh,
but he
Oh,
played for the Thunder,
that's
and the Warriors
crazy.
are still in it. So like if we
I
put
just
KD
prefer
on
the
the
Thunder, but
Warriors, I
that's a
might.
good point.
Warriors could get Will Chamberlain though.
And they need a
Yeah,
big.
yeah,
They do need a big. But are they gonna pass up the opportunity to get KD? Oh, Will Chamberlain.
They not passing up
That's
the
KD.
opportunity to get KD.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not with today's game.
yeah,
I think who would the Knicks would get Patrick Ewing? They need a big, like a true
Yeah,
big.
yeah,
That would be deadly.
yeah,
Cleveland, they
yeah,
would get Braun. Cleveland, it's down three
Cleveland get
one.
Braun.
They got Braun.
yeah,
Mm.
I'm expecting them to go to the
yeah.
chip.
Yeah, they
Nah,
lost though. They
for
lost
real.
tonight though.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
gave
they
it.
lost. Yeah, they lost. Yeah, they lost. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they lost.
But I mean, I guess if we were to start this round 0-0,
Hmm.
I think Cleveland
yeah,
probably be the best answer. They gave Braun.
You think Braun would be
yeah,
the unanimous like number
I
one
feel like it
option?
has
Like,
to be. I mean,
hmm
the Timberwolves could get KG,
that'd be
but
nice.
they already got
yeah,
some bigs
Yeah,
yeah.
I think Braun. Yeah, it'd probably be Braun. I mean, I think Patrick Ewing would be nice
on the Knicks.
on the
Yeah,
Knicks because we didn't even talk about the Celtics. They would get like Bird or I guess Russell or
Yeah.
KG. I think the Knicks would be good because it would round out the team like perfectly, like Brunson, McHale, OG, Cat, Patrick Ewing.
yeah, that would be
That's
nasty.
hard. I
That
mean, that's a
would
True
tough
be.
big
team, but
down there because
yeah,
Cat can shoot.
Yeah.
yeah. Cat can space the floor.
Yeah.
He don't even got to be down there.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
Hmm.
true.
But we're gonna go ahead and get into this next little topic. All right, guys. So I have a few guys written down here, and I want you to decide on whose career would you rather have. This isn't about who's the better player, but this is about their career. So, first two people we got is: would you rather have Russell Westbrook's career or Draymond?
man, I gotta go Russ. He
Keelan,
got
I'm
MVP. Oh, go ahead.
I'm taking Draymond Green, man.
Pete, you want to elaborate on why? What was it?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Draymond got 4 rings, but Russ got the MVP. Russ took his team. Russ was the best player on the team. He don't have a ring, and that's kind of the biggest argument right now is he don't have a ring.
Hmm.
But he was the best player on his team. He carried his team, went to the playoffs. He was always on a good team, so it wasn't like he was the best player on a horrible team. Like he was always on a good team.
Hmm.
And man, Draymond was the third fiddle. He's always been the third fiddle.
Hmm.
He was the fourth fiddle at one point.
Yeah, that's true, but I think I'm gonna have to go with my boy Keelan on this one. You can't beat 4 rings, man. Defensive player of the year, made some all-star teams, multiple finals appearances. At the end of the day, Russ is
Hey,
another Barkley, another AI. Like, I mean, those guys are great and they're better than Draymond, no doubt. But at the end of the day, when it's like, 20 years from now, Russ is going to meet Draymond Green in a Walmart and Draymond's going to be wearing 4 rings and Russ is going to be, I
wearing
mean,
on.
yeah, he ain't going to have nothing, man. Give me them rings, man.
Yeah,
I,
with all them All Star appearances. You said them All Star appearances,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Our
Okay,
defensive
okay.
teams, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Russ should
So
have some, but
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't, I mean, I ain't gonna say he should have. He should have some in the sense that he's athletic enough to make it a team, but he didn't. Like, he didn't play
Yeah.
defense good enough.
yeah.
Rodman or Steve Nash?
Give me Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman. What you thinking, Keelan?
Hey, I'm a rock with Steve Nash. You know the two MVPs.
It's funny that you
You-
chose Draymond
And then flip flop
yeah. It's funny that you
and
chose
went to
Draymond and passed up Russ, but then chose
uh,
Nash and dropped
yeah,
and didn't get
yeah.
Rodman.
Yeah, but it's the same with him being like Russ and Draymond, like being Russ and Robin now,
But
But
but you chose the opposite essentially, basically.
yeah, I did. But it's just the fact like, he had all them All-Star appearances. Uh, he got two back-to-back MVPs. You can't argue with two back-to-back MVPs and 2-1, you know what I mean? Like,
I
and then,
mean
Yeah,
hey,
nah, I gotta go with Rodman on this one, bro. He got
I,
I
I,
five
guess
hey,
rings.
I'll bet,
He won
I'll
two
bet
rings
it.
back to back, then three in a row. It's
Yeah,
I guess
arguably
I kind of
regarded,
flip flop
but
no,
too. I guess I
yeah.
kind of flip flop too because
yeah,
That's what
I
I'm
had
saying.
picked
Like,
Russ.
cause if you talking about
yeah,
me,
that's
he
true.
flip
Yeah,
flop
both
too.
flip flop.
I
Yeah,
did flip flop,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Rodman was essential to them dubs.
and
Rodman was
Draymond
the
wasn't.
main rebounder.
That's what I'm
Man,
saying.
Yeah.
man,
That's
Rodman.
that's
I'm
You
my
going with
argument.
tripping?
Rodman.
That's my
Rodman
Draymond
was
a
argument.
better
more essential.
shooter. Draymond a better
Yeah,
shooter, better facilitator. As
Facilitator.
great as Dennis Rodman is at defense, he's not a better passer and shooter than Draymond.
Rodman a better defender, better rebounder.
Yeah,
But I, I just feel like Rodman was more essential to the Bulls team than Draymond was to that Warriors team. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
I
saying
don't think
now I
Draymond
can't
wasn't.
say that because they already won 3 chips before Rodman even got
Yeah,
there.
exactly. And
Like,
then
like that's
Draymond, he had to be the
crazy. Like they
he had to be the
like
small
not
ball
one but
five.
three.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, three. And
That's
then
true. Not
Draymond,
one
he was
but
a small
three.
ball five too. Like,
hmm
and,
Yeah.
and
He kind of he was one of the really true first small ball fives. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good point.
yeah,
And Pete, I ain't gonna lie, I'm going with Rodman, but if we're talking about
yeah,
Rodman versus Draymond, not to say that Draymond's better, but or Rodman,
yeah.
whatever, Draymond Nash, Rodman Nash, whatever. I gotta stick with the. Basically, what I'm saying is, man, I'm choosing Rodman over Nash. And Keelan, I don't know why you. So Nash only got one more MVP than Russell Westbrook, and this Rodman got one more ring. Like, what's the like? I don't get that the
Yeah,
whole why you switched up.
I mean, I just take that two MVPs over one. But also, I feel like C Nash is like he a great playmaker. I think he's like top 5 to 10 in assists all time. Like so that's another reason why I chose that too. Like
So let me ask
he's
you this: who's a better player, all time, Russell Westbrook or Steve Nash?
Russell Westbrook.
hey
It's not hard. It's not. It's not. It's not.
yeah.
It's not hard.
I mean, if you talking about just player, like all around player, I'm gonna take Russell
Player.
Westbrook.
Yeah.
But if you
So
if
you'd
you
rather be
talking
a
about
worse player with one extra MVP than a better
yeah,
player
because
with one less MVP.
yeah, because we were talking about the careers, you know what I mean? Like we wasn't talking about the skill set, you know what I mean?
Okay. Oh, you're saying like if it was literally you. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
like you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if you taking the all around build, I'm taking Russ over C
I
Nash,
think we
but
kind of gotta. Well, I mean, if we're taking their career, we have to take their stats. Like like so we have to
yeah,
know
yeah, well,
that.
yeah,
You can't
We have.
be,
yeah,
7'5" putting up Russell Westbrook stats. You got to take everything about this man.
yeah, that's true.
Okay. Well, next we got Paul
But
George or Rudy Gobert.
Oh, give me
uh,
Rudy Gobert.
I'm taking Paul George, man.
Oh, huh, bro? You tweaking?
Nah,
Rudy
you
Gobert got
tweaking,
That's
Rudy
what I'm
Gobert got 4
saying.
Defensive Player of the Year awards, bro.
bro. Paul George, bro.
Hey,
Come
How
on,
that's
many
man.
what
how
I'm.
many Defensive Player of the Year awards Paul George
He
got?
don't. He does. How much Defensive Player of the Year has Braun got?
Hey, that is true. But we're not talking about Brown. We're talking about PG and Rudy Gobert.
Look,
Well, that's the same argument. You taking Braun over Rudy Gobert. It's the same way with Paul
Yeah,
George.
no, it's not. Brown got 4 rings, 4 Finals MVPs.
that's true. That's true.
The,
I
the,
gotta
Okay,
go with
boy
that's
my
a good
man.
averaged 30.
argument.
I gotta
That's a
go with
good
my man
argument.
Paul, bro. 6'9", 6'10", handle the rock like Kyrie, smooth J. Get to the lane. Basically a modern day T Mac. From a skill standpoint, also from a success standpoint in a way. But great at D. I would say he's better. He's a better defender than T Mac. I mean, we got 9-time NBA
Yeah.
All Star, 1-time All NBA first team, 5 All NBA third team, 2-time All NBA defensive first team. There go your defense right there. 2-time All NBA defensive second team, All NBA rookie second team, and NBA most improved and NBA steals leader. I mean, that's more than enough for me. I don't know what Rudy got, but I know he ain't got no chip. They both don't have a chip. But Rudy, he
They
got 40
both
defensive player
don't
of the
have
years.
a
That's pretty
chip.
crazy though.
And
He
then
got four
one year,
defensive player of
Pete,
the years.
on the OKC Thunder, he
Top
was a
three
top
MVP
three
voting.
MVP candidate for your
And
Thunder,
he didn't win
Rudy
though.
could never.
Well, hey, Rudy ain't even come close.
Rudy probably.
Oh, brother.
Now go ahead and make a case for Rudy, bro. I want to hear.
I mean, bro, Rudy got. Let me get bro's stats right now.
I know he got
But
4 defensive player of the year awards, which is pretty amazing.
And maybe like for 3 to 4 All Stars, I
and
think.
and don't get me wrong, Rudy Gobert, he's considered like, oh, he can't guard on the perimeter. Well, I mean, bro, he's 7'2". He's not as fast
Hmm.
as per se PG, so obviously he's not gonna be able to guard on the perimeter. He's a big man, but 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and we're talking about whose career would I rather have
Yeah, that's pretty historic.
in 10, 15, 20 years. We're gonna be talking about Paul George because we love basketball. But when people look up in the history books, they're gonna see Rudy Gobert, Rudy Gobert, Rudy Gobert, Rudy Gobert. They're not gonna see PG. PG didn't win no ring. PG didn't win MVP. I mean, Rudy Gobert didn't win MVP, but he got
Hmm.
4 DPOYs. So
Yeah, it's only 3 guys in NBA history that got 4. It's Dikembe, Ben Wallace, and Rudy
Yeah,
Gobert. So, like, I do agree with Peter from that standpoint that we
yeah,
probably won't, once 10 years from now, we'll be talking about Paul George, but I don't know if the
yeah.
average, fan will be. And
I
Mm.
mean,
if anything, defensive related comes up in the conversation, more than likely Rudy Gobert will, name will come up.
yeah, and I mean it's NBA rebounding leader, NBA blocks leader, 7 time All NBA defensive first team.
Dang, 7
Obviously,
time?
the 4 NBA,
Mm.
yeah,
Damn.
7 time, 3 time All NBA third team, and that's just All NBA. That's not like
Hmm.
defensive third team, and then All NBA second team, and then 3 All Stars. So he didn't have as much All Stars as PG, but
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be real, Keelan. We choosing PG for the swag, bro. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
right. Yeah, that's true
Like,
too. Yeah.
like Rudy, man,
he ain't got no swag.
swag,
And I
man.
mean,
Hey,
it's
PG
hard
won a
though.
gold medal, right, Keelan?
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So boom, there we go.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert French man.
Man, exactly. He ain't
And
winning
that
no
Got
don't,
gold medals.
he
yeah.
got 2 silver medals.
And plus Rudy ain't all that offensively.
Yeah, that's a
He's
good
not
point.
all that
That's,
offensively. If we
yeah.
Yeah,
taking,
so
I mean, if we going straight for like swag and offense, I mean, I'm taking Paul George. But
Hmm.
but
if
I'm
we
also
going
taking
So you
overall
Paul
don't
George
think though,
career,
like
too.
in 10 years from now, though, like PG name might come up, like we're talking about, like who's elite offense, like who's an elite scorer? You don't think maybe? Nah,
I
probably
don't
not.
think it's
Cause
coming up
Michael,
before
Kobe, KD,
KD, yeah, like
yeah,
Braun, like
Yeah.
it's not coming up before
mm,
them names, and them names the only ones they're gonna talk about.
yeah. Okay, Ben Wallace or Robert Ory?
Taking Ben
I'm
Wallace,
taking Ben
man.
Wallace. I'm taking Ben
Hey,
I'm,
Wallace.
all right. I guess I'm the
Me
one.
and Keelan on the same page today, it seems like.
hey,
Yeah, I
for
guess I'm the one, bro. Give me Robert Ory, bro.
Bruh, Ben,
real.
like you
Ben Wallace.
said, bro, 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards. Plus he
Mm-hmm.
has a chip, arguably top 5 defensive player all time. I
Yeah.
mean, he's
He has
at,
a chip.
yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that I feel like Ben was more vital to the team than though Robert is a great player. Don't get me wrong. And Ben's the first undrafted player to make it to the Hall of Fame. That's within
Ooh.
itself
That's a
is
that's a good one.
nasty.
Ooh. Yeah.
That
So,
is nasty.
but and Ben is more vital to the team to me than Robert Ory, though he has 7 chips and he was a good contributor. He had some big shots, obviously. But I gotta go with Ben, man. You look at Ben
I mean,
highlights, some mugs is nasty, bro.
they are nasty.
For real.
I
Even though
mean,
he averaged 4 points a game.
And he was like a 6'8", 6'9" center. Like, oof.
Bro, like yoked up, bro. Like, come on, man.
For
My
With the
my
fro?
only my only real argument for Robert Ory
7
is I'm gonna go 7 rings.
real.
Ben Wallace got one, but also Robert Ory. I mean, it's not like a Patrick McCaw situation where he got 3 straight rings, but he
Mm-hmm.
ain't do nothing at all. And like you look up highlights from the finals, you not seeing him do nothing.
Yeah.
But Robert Ory, you look up highlights from his 7 finals, he hitting game winners, buzzer beaters, spin around jump shots. I mean, he was going
Nah,
crazy.
Robert is a good player,
No,
but he's
yeah.
not to the level of like he's not like a Ginobili, was for the
No, no,
Spurs.
no, 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 no,
Or
no.
you know what I mean?
If
Like
we if we gonna play
he's
every
literally
player,
just like maybe
right place, right time
yeah,
type
like
guy.
right place. He's literally a definition of that.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're gonna play every player, I'm taking Ben Wallace every day of the week.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, yeah,
obviously Ben Wallace is better than him, but career wise, 7 chips. I'm hitting game winners. I'm on TV.
yeah. I mean, you definitely
Come
had a
on,
good time. Yeah,
yeah, I had a
Yeah.
great time.
yeah. So next we got Dwight Howard versus Patrick Ewing. What are y'all thinking?
Who you got, Keelan?
Um, I'm gonna go with Patrick Ewing for the argument's sake.
Go ahead.
For the argument side, I'm gonna go Dwight.
I gotta go Dwight on this one too, man.
I
And this
feel
one was probably the toughest one for me because Patrick Ewing is so great. He's so good offensively. He carried the Knicks team. What was it, 2-2 finals?
yeah.
Obviously the best player in New York for a long period of time. Top 5 big in the league for a long period of time. But I think it comes down to like what Peter was saying about Rudy earlier is that when we look back on it, who has 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards?
Yeah.
Dwight. Who managed to get to the finals? At least once by themselves. Dwight. I mean, Patrick did twice, but then Dwight went again and won the chip.
Yeah.
And I think Patrick Ewing is kind of getting over. He gets overshadowed by a lot of other great bigs, so his
No,
name
that's
won't
true.
come back up as much as maybe Dwight Howard.
No, I could agree with that.
Hmm.
Like for sure. I was just for argument's sake, if I could come up with one.
So what is so what is your
Bro,
argument
you
for
gotta at
Patrick
least,
Ewing?
yeah, yeah. I think, and you gotta at least
I
say
gotta hear
something.
something.
No,
I mean, you
no,
just an
no,
avid Patrick Ewing fan, or you got ties
no,
to New
no,
York?
no.
He biased. He biased, bro.
No. I'm gonna say like, yeah, like Dwight Howard, he won that team. He won that ring when he was old and stuff like that. And then like Patrick Ewing, like he was just carrying that team by offensively, like scoring wise on them Orlando Magic teams. They had them shooters around them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I think Patrick Ewing is the better player all time, but I think Dwight Howard. I would go ahead and take Dwight Howard's career just because he has that ring. Up next we got this one might be the toughest one of all of them. Kawhi or Dirk? What y'all thinking?
I gotta go Dirk.
Dirk, Keelan?
well, I'm taking Kawhi, man. The
Me too,
claw.
man. Hey, Keelan.
And the
The
claw.
claw, man.
Get that claw out of here, man. Kawhi never healthy, bro. Though he was healthy. He won a
Bro.
couple rings. He won a couple rings down there in San Antonio. Got the ring in Toronto, and that is a great playoff run. That little Toronto ring. Dirk, I feel like hard had the best playoff run ever,
I agree.
going through all them ghosts.
I mean, that's fair.
But Dirk was
Man,
But
Keelan,
consistently healthy for
Keelan,
20
I got
seasons.
this one, bro.
go ahead, fam.
Dirk
School
was
them.
Bro, do you
consistently
School.
healthy for 20 seasons.
Bro, he has
Consistently
one
healthy.
ring. I mean, he was healthy for 20 seasons, and he's an all-time great power forward. That's great. But you almost can make Kawhi, not even playing, got more rings in him. Like, oh man, that's crazy. But
This
no,
is
I
true.
will say Kawhi got 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards. That's more than Draymond Green. All-time great, maybe the greatest two-way player we've ever seen. You know what I mean? Maybe he goes to Toronto for 1 year. It's almost he gets more credit almost for being there 1 year and winning than maybe somebody who's there for 20 years like Dirk, and they
And
got the
finally
same amount of
won some.
rings. So it's kind of like, man, he's hooped, man. He averaged that finals run. He had the third most points all time in the finals run, only behind Braun and MJ. Second youngest finals MVP all time, only behind Magic, bruh. I gotta go with Kawhi. He got 2 rings, 2 finals MVP, arguably the greatest two-way player we ever seen. I mean, Dirk is that guy, but Dirk really don't bring nothing defensively. You
I
know, if you
I
care about
gotta
defense at
say,
all,
I
don't.
gotta say, this is probably the first one that you made me flip flop on. We're gonna have to go Kawhi.
I mean,
As a
hey,
co- as a collective unit,
now I
we're
know the
gonna
old
go
heads gonna be like,
Kawhi.
man, Dirk was doing this. Nah, don't get me wrong, y'all.
Man,
Dirk is
Dirk was cold.
crazy. Dirk is
I had
crazy.
Dirk. I picked Dirk at first thought. I said, give me Dirk. Y'all tripping. But man, the defensive player of the year,
Mm.
the chips, the finals MVPs. It was the Raptors that got me though, because the Raptors team was not as good as that Mavericks team when they won a chip. And
And I would say,
everybody on that
nah, I
Mavericks
don't
team
know
was
about
going
that one.
crazy.
I don't know,
Everybody on
man.
that Mavericks team was going
I think the Raptors.
crazy
I'm
that
going for
playoff
Kawhi,
run.
but I think the Raptors might have had the better team, bro. There was no one
I think
like
Yeah.
so too.
Pascal on the Mavericks team. I mean, OG was on that Raptors team. Fred
Oh, OG
VanVleet,
was on that
Kyle
Raptors
Lowry
team.
was on the team. I mean, those guys aren't, I mean, OG and Fred aren't like all stars or anything, but I mean, they had Kid on the Mavericks team. They had JJ Barea. They had Terry. They had Chandler.
Yeah.
Those guys are great, but they were a bit older.
They had Marion.
I think just the fact that
They
Pascal
had the
was on the
movers.
team. Marc Gasol, he won Defensive Player of the Year. He was on
Oh
the
Oh, I
Raptors
yeah,
team.
forgot Marc Gasol was on that
Ibaka was
Raptors
on the
team.
team.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ibaka.
I guess you right. You right.
And
Look,
Linsanity.
2 times. Nah, we ain't worried about no Jeremy Lin. 2 times you made me flip in the same one. I
Mhm.
guess that Raptors team was better, man. I don't even know why I picked Dirk in the first place.
Hey,
Then.
and I think Kawhi might be the only player to beat LeBron in the finals, KD in the finals, Curry in the finals. Hey, that's a pretty crazy stat right
That's a
there.
crazy stat line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he beat
But
Kobe in the playoffs?
what, bro?
Dirk had to do it.
Oh, I see what you said. Okay, yeah,
Last
yeah.
ditch effort for Dirk, real quick.
Yeah, no, that was it. And didn't he sweep Kobe, I think, right? Someone.
Yeah, they went
Yeah.
crazy.
They beat your team too. Shit.
Yeah,
Hey, we're not gonna talk about the Thunder right now.
they,
They beat KD, Russell Westbrook, and Harden.
Hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
that was probably like you said. That's probably the greatest run ever, man. Any other great runs I can think of that might be like competing with that
Man,
one? I know
nah,
D
bro.
Wade had a pretty crazy run in '06 with
He had
Yeah.
Shaq.
Shaq though.
Yeah, but I mean, bro, Shaq was old, man.
I mean, he had Shaq,
No.
man.
I
Shaq
mean,
most dominant
that's
center
like
of all
saying Dirk
time.
had Jason Kidd. Like it ain't Jason
For
Kidd. It's
real.
it's old Jason Kidd. Shaq was
Shaq
Yeah.
just
averaging.
came off winning a ring.
It was '06, '07. Oh, it's been a minute.
I guess
It's
you're right.
it's been a minute. He was a little out of shape. He only averaged 13 points in that series, so it wasn't like he was dominating.
That's true. Wade did average
Yeah.
36.
Yeah.
I feel like the finals though was all
Oh, but
Wade
you're
because
saying
he
it was.
had 36. But leading up to it, it was Shaq and Wade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Like, yeah, Shaq probably did offer more help than anybody on the Mavericks. I'm trying to think if there any like I know Michael. He always had Pippen, Braun. He never really won one as like having just him.
Yeah,
He always had some pretty great teammates. Kawhi is the maybe the only other one.
yeah. It would probably
Yeah.
be out of Kawhi and Dirk, and I gotta go Dirk just because of the people he beat,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
then probably Kawhi second, man.
You think so? Yeah, Kawhi.
As far
Yeah.
as one single finals run.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to think of like
Kawhi,
Nikola
D Wade
Jokic
was so
maybe.
young too. I think he was on like third,
Yeah.
fourth year in the league though. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we go ahead and jump into this next and final one. Klay Thompson versus David Robinson. Whose career are you taking?
I'm taking David Robinson, man.
Man, I
And
ain't,
give me the 70-point man, David the General Robinson, man.
okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Killer Clay from the Bay. Man, y'all want to go ahead? Who want to start off, man? 'Cause
Go ahead,
y'all
David.
sleeping on my boy Clay, man.
But we're not sleeping on Clay. Clay Cole. He second grade shooter all the time. He dropping 37 in the quarter, cool, whatever. David Robinson still dropped 70 in the game, so it's not like we're gonna say David Robinson couldn't score. This ain't Ben Wallace.
Hmm.
But David
Yeah,
Robinson got MVPs, chips, 2 chips. I mean, Clay got 4. David Robinson got 2. He got MVPs. He was the leader of his team.
Let me
Clay
ask you
was
this:
never
who
the
better
leader of
all
his
time,
team.
Stephen Curry or Tim Duncan?
I'm taking Tim Duncan.
That's pretty crazy.
Mm.
Considering that
Give me
Tim
big
Duncan, David
fundamental.
Robinson played with Tim Duncan. Yeah, he getting more credit than my boy Clay.
Oh
37 points
shit.
in a quarter.
Oh
60 points, 11 dribbles. Has what,
That's
13
true.
threes in it, like multiple times, 11 threes multiple times in a game. I mean,
Hey.
arguably the most, you don't get points really, you don't get like points for having a smooth looking jumper, but arguably the prettiest jumper ever. That helps. I mean, I gotta go with my
Hey,
boy Clay, man.
But
Four
man,
rings,
David Robinson, yeah,
double the amount of rings David Robinson got, and they both don't got any Finals MVPs.
he played with Tim Duncan before he was Tim Duncan. I mean, Tim
Tim
Duncan was
Duncan
always
won Finals
cold.
MVP.
Tim
He was
Duncan was
doing so
always
good.
cold. But I mean, Magic won Finals MVP his rookie year. But that was still before he was like Magic Johnson. He was just Irvin to them, you know what I'm saying, back then.
Bro,
Then
you reaching right now, man.
well,
nah,
You
man.
my
reaching.
argument for David Robinson, he an MVP. He won a Defensive Player of the Year. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, and he dropped 70 points in the game. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
that's my argument.
gotta go with my boy Clay, man. Career wise, Dave Robinson is the better player for sure. But career wise, I'm in the Bay, I'm in San Francisco. Nice weather. I got 4 rings. I'm regarded as maybe the
Yeah.
second greatest shooter all time.
Yeah.
Maybe the
You can never be
greatest
the
three and
best
D,
player on
maybe the
your own
greatest three and
team.
D player all time. I mean,
Never
David
be the best
Robinson
player on
was the
your own
greatest player on
team.
his own team, but they didn't really win. They didn't win nothing.
That's but
And that's cool.
if Clay was to have his own team,
That's like Russell Westbrook. I mean, that's
I
cool, bro. You was the greatest one, but
I feel like if Clay was to have his own team though, he wouldn't have nowhere near any type of success that David Robinson had.
yeah, no
Clay
doubt,
was
no
so
doubt.
cold because he had Curry there for the first chip. And he kind of Curry took away some of the attention. They're the greatest shooters, back in Splash Bros,
Mm,
whatever. And then KD came. So
hmm
Clay was the third fiddle. He went from the second fiddle to the third fiddle when KD got there. Then there's even
Mhm.
less eyes on him because there's eyes on Curry. They double teaming. Eyes on KD. And then Clay kind of got to the wayside. He cashing out.
I think, like I said, I think Dave Robinson, like that's a good argument if you're trying to, if I think that Klay Thompson is a better player than Dave Robinson. My argument isn't that Klay Thompson is a better player than Dave Robinson. It's the fact that Klay Thompson has 2 extra rings is the sole reason I'm taking Klay Thompson, and I'm still in the Hall of Fame. I mean, still arguably,
That's
second
true.
greatest shooter all time. So I think that's enough for me.
That's true. And I guess if they're both great players that are going to go to the Hall of
Mhm,
Fame
mhm.
and one has more rings, I guess that career is probably. You're going to go to the Hall of Fame. You're a great
Yeah.
player. Nobody's going to be like, you were a scrub.
hmm
Like,
Yeah.
I guess.
Now
I
David
guess
is
kind of
top
that makes
75
sense.
all time. He's, obviously a great
Yeah.
defensive player. But you can make the case that Klay Thompson is the greatest 3 and D player ever, maybe behind like Michael Cooper or something. But I think, Klay has a case. He's definitely a better shooter.
He's definitely a better
Yeah.
shooter than
Yeah,
anybody that's a
definitely.
3 and D player.
Yeah.
But the defense is where it kind of.
Yeah. Klay can guard on the perimeter. He obviously can't guard the
Yeah, he
people that Dave
can.
Robinson
Okay.
is guarding. But
Yeah.
man, that's gonna go ahead and conclude this episode of the Backyard Bullies podcast. We appreciate our boy Keelan coming on, holding it down.
Good
Uh,
luck, hey.
Pete, you got
Yes,
anything you want to say to
sir.
go ahead and wrap it up?
And like, comment, and subscribe on our video. Appreciate y'all watching, man, for the people still here.
Keelan, you got anything you want to say?
I appreciate y'all having me on the podcast again. Sorry to be back. I always subscribe to the Backyard Boys podcast.
Do
And,
that.
and you can follow me at Killer Keelan. I need to create me a YouTube channel ASAP.
Hey, Sap, man, y'all heard him. Y'all go ahead and follow him at Killer Keelan. Follow us too if you're not. Subscribe to us. Follow us on Instagram at Backyard Bullies Pod. Tap in. We got a lot more content coming for y'all in the 2025 year. Stay tuned. We out.